Okay, we are doing page 298, 5 through 24. So far we've learned how to solve systems of equations by graphing. Where the lines intersect, that's the solution, the common solution. The past 2 days we've done substitution. That was the assignment we just did. And then we're going to learn the final way today, and it is called elimination. It's called elimination because you want to eliminate one of the variables so you can solve the remaining variable. And we're going to learn by just doing so. On number 5, x plus y equals 5. And x minus y equals negative 3. Okay. This is my, out of the 3 ways of doing it, this is my preferred method. Sometimes substitution is easier, but usually elimination is the best. Not always, but a lot of times. Okay, number 5 is like the easiest kind, so don't get too excited. But so here's the rules. If you can add the same value to both sides of an equation, right? Or subtract the same, or multiply the same. So if these two sides are equal, then it's legal for us to add this to this side and this to this side. Because we're adding equal values to both sides, because they're equal. Okay, so basically you can add the two lines together.
We're doing odds together.
Yes. So, and I want to do that because when I add these two lines together, what do I get? I get 1x plus 1x is 2x. What's y plus minus y?
0.
It's gone. The y's are eliminated, which is good. Okay, and then if I add the, over here, don't forget, 5 plus negative 3 is 2. Okay, so what I am left with is a one variable equation. I can solve an equation with one variable. So if you are able to eliminate one of the variables, you have something you can solve. So, and I did that by adding the lines together. What's 2x equals 2, so what's x got to be?
1.
1. So just like yesterday, once you get one of the variables, what do you do?
It's really easy to get together.
You plug it back in. If x is 1, 1 plus y equals 5.
4.
Y has got to be 4. You can check it in the other equation. Does 1 minus 4 equal negative 3? Yes. Okay.
6 like this one?
Now that was really quick and easy, right? It does get harder there. We're just starting off with the basics. The y's canceled out really easy when I added the two lines together. Okay. Number 7. X minus y equals negative 2. And 6x plus y equals negative 19.
Will this be a paper that we'll be working on tomorrow too?
I'm not planning on it. We'll see how it goes though.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to take us as long as substitution will.
Yeah, substitution was in mind.
Okay. Can I use the same trick if I add the lines together? Will my y's go away?
Yeah.
Yes. So what's 1x plus 6x?
7.
What's negative 2 plus negative 19?
0. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Negative 21. Divide by 7.
I thought we were doing
Now, most of these problems you should not get a fraction, although it looks like number 15 we're going to get a fraction. If you would get a fraction, something's probably wrong. Divide by 7.
Negative 3.
X is negative 3. Now what do I do?
You
Put negative 3 back into one of these equations. If I put negative 3 for that x, I get negative 3 minus y is negative 2. How do I solve that for y?
Add
Plus 3.
It's negative.
I get negative y
Or just one.
equals 1.
Or just 1.
So y would equal negative 1. Switch the signs. If negative y is 1, y is negative 1. So I can multiply both sides by negative 1. Negative 3, negative 1.
I did it on the wrong thing.
If you want to check it, you can plug it in the other equation that we didn't use. 6 times negative 3 plus negative 1 is negative 19. Okay. Number 9. 2f, okay, this one's a little bit different. 2f plus 9g equals 30. right. If we add the two lines together, we're not going to get rid of anything, right? Okay, another trick we could use, if you can add the same thing to both sides, you can also subtract the same value from both sides. So, I'm going to write it like this, just to maybe help us with our imagination. I'm going to subtract the entire bottom line. You can't just subtract part of it, you got to subtract the whole thing. So, instead of adding this time, I'm going to subtract. What is 2f minus 2f? 0. That's why I did it, right? So the f's go away. But I also have to do 9g minus 1g, 8g, and be careful on this one, 30 minus negative 2.
32.
30 plus 2, 32.
32.
And 30, does 32 divide by 8? Yes, so that means we probably did it right. G is 4.
How do you know when to subtract?
Well, we knew if we added these together, we weren't going to get 0, we were going to get 4f. But if I subtract the bottom line, those would cancel out. 2f minus 2f, that goes away, which is what we want. We want to eliminate one of the variables.
Okay.
Okay, it does get a little messier than this, but we're starting to get into it. G is 4, where could I put that? This one looks kind of simple. This one looks a little bit
That
simple.
says negative 3.
Okay, so I get 2f plus 4 equals negative 2. So if I subtract the 4,
Negative 6.
get negative 6, and then if I divide the 2,
Negative 3.
it's a little bit trickier to subtract, right? Because you got to remember that you're subtracting these, and you got to minus the minus, which makes it a plus. So
Yeah.
subtracting the bottom line makes it a little more complicated. Okay, number 11. Okay, 11 we're not actually solving. It says determine the multipliers needed.
What?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write it down. 2x plus 3y plus 10. We haven't done these kinds of problems, this trick yet, so this is kind of new. 4x minus 5y. Okay, so this is new. You guys see what the problem is? I can't, like, 4 and 2 won't cancel out, 3 and negative 5 won't cancel out. So they're asking, how could I get rid of the x's, or how could I get rid of the y's? Now, we got a new trick that we're using on this one. I'm not actually solving these, by the way, because the directions just ask, what do you need to do to solve? So that's all we're going to put. There's an A and a B answer. The A answer is, how do I get rid of the x's? The B answer is, how would I get rid of the y's? Okay, now, those don't cancel out. How can I make it so that these two would cancel out? Well, remember you can multiply both sides of an equation by a number, right?
So you could multiply the top one by 2?
Top one. I wouldn't just multiply it by 2. I would multiply it by negative 2. Why did I say negative 2?
So you don't have to mess with the bottom.
Okay, because that would make this a negative, and then you could add those together. Negative 4 plus 4. If you multiply by positive 2, you subtract the lines. Makes it a little more complicated. So multiplying by negative 2 is a little better. So anyway, you don't have to write that. Here's what you do have to write. Top times negative 2. That's how we would set it up to get rid of the x's.
What about the negative 6?
Okay, well over here you get negative 6y and you'd add that to negative 5y. Over here you get negative 20, you'd add that to negative 24.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do this here after these problems. We'll actually have to solve it. But okay, B is how do I get rid of the y values? Well, does 3 go into 5? No. But what can 3 and 5 both go into? 15. One of them's already negative and one's positive, so that's kind of good. If I just multiply the top line times 5, this term will turn into 15y. And if I multiply the bottom times 3, this will turn into negative 15y, which is good.
So
So the top line needs times 5 to turn that into 15. The bottom line needs times 3 to turn that into a negative 15. So the answer is top times 5, bottom times 3. And that's about as hard as it gets. The B answer. It's about as hard as these problems get. We haven't actually solved it yet, so we didn't actually do it, but all right. Number 13. 13 is the same thing. 6x minus 11y equals negative 26. And 1, 3, negative 14. All right. How could I get rid of the x's?
You could multiply the bottom by 6.
Okay, bottom times 6 would turn these. So instead of that, guess what I'm going to do though? Multiply by negative 6. Just that makes them opposites. Opposites, when you add them together, it's 0. And adding is easier than subtracting. So I'm going to put a bottom times negative 6. Technically, you could say bottom times 6 and then just subtract, but. Okay, how could I get rid of the y's? Well, does 3 go into 11? Can I turn a 3 into 11? No.
30.
11 and 3 can both be turned into 33 though, because that's... So the top needs a 3, right, to turn that into a 33, and the bottom needs 11. And they're already opposites, that's a minus, that's a plus, so that's good. So it's top times 3, bottom times 11. Now on 15 we're actually going to do the problem. So just talk about how to do it. So 2y plus... something is weird about 15. You guys know what I'm talking about?
There's swap.
The order is... It's out, well no, it's out of order. There will be a fraction on this one, but... I'm going to change the top one into standard. Really, you need your x's and y's lined up. So I'm going to switch the order of the top one to x plus 2y equals 9.
You can do that.
So it's in standard order. X plus 2y is the same thing as 2y plus x, right? It doesn't change anything. All right, what should I do?
Times 3 on the top and time.
Okay, I can multiply the top times 3 to make my x's the same. But what about the y's? They're already ready. The y's are right. The y's are already ready to go. So I'm just going to add the two lines together, and my y's should cancel out. So 1x plus 3x is 4x. 2y plus that's gone, right? That's just nothing. And then 9 plus 7, 16. So 4x equals 16 divided by 4, x is 4. Plug that back here. 4 plus 2y equals 9. So subtract the 4. Makes 5. 5 divided, what's 5 divided by 2? 5 over 2. Good. Don't worry about changing it to a decimal. 5 doesn't divide by 2 well, so we can just leave it as an improper. 5 over 2.
I understand this.
Yeah, that's why I like elimination better than substitution.
Substitution was annoying.
Agreed.
There is sometimes substitution.
Ow.
Okay.
Every answer is.
17 is in the right order,
Yes.
but
It did.
nothing is ready to cancel out. So you have to choose, do I want to cancel the x's or the y's? They would be
Y.
identical in difficulty, so it doesn't really matter. Which one do you guys want to get rid of? X's. Okay. How do I get rid of the x's?
Yeah, it's an out.
Times 2 times the bottom by negative.
Times the bottom by -2. Because what happens when I do that, I get, it's like distributive property kind of. So -2x minus 4y and -36. Okay. So you don't really have to rewrite that top line, but just to help us, I'm gonna bring it down here so it's visually easier to look at, figure out. Just rewrite the top line so they're stacked together. Now what do I do? If I add these two together, they'll go away, right? That's why we did it. So I'm ready to add the lines together. X's are gone. -4 plus 1y. -36 plus 15, that's kind of a big one. -21. Basically, you subtracting the negative. So y is going to be 7. So I'm going to put 7 back here. 2x plus 7 equals 15. Subtract 7, 2x is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4.
Yeah, it's a lot faster than substitution.
Alright, 19. Okay, this 19 is about as hard as it gets.
So x is 1.
No fractions though, I guess, so it could be worse.
For 17?
On 17, yeah. X equals 4.
Alright,
Is that a 2?
yeah. Criticize my twos.
There's no tail on it.
Any, huh?
There's no tail on it.
X.
Lovely. Alright, any bright ideas?
You can,
Add?
If you add them together, will anything cancel out?
Nope.
No.
No.
So we gotta fix it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna use the y's because they are a little bit smaller than the x's. So what do 4 and 3 go into? 12. So I'm gonna, here's what I'll do. I'll do the top times 3. Well, I've been using brackets, I guess. That'll make that a -12. So I want this to be a +12. So I'm gonna do the bottom times -4. So the top line times 3 is 15x minus 12y equals 21.
The top line?
Top line times 3. Bottom line times -4 is -28x plus 12y equals -8.
the y's cancel out.
Right, that's why we did it. If the y's don't cancel out, you did something wrong. So, yeah, we add them together, y's go away. 15 minus 28. Kind of like 28 minus 15, but it's opposite. -13.
X equals -8.
21 minus 8 is 13. So what's 13 divided by -13? -1.
I like hypo.
Okay. So I'm going to put -1 for,
Bottom.
I guess, the top. It just doesn't matter, you got to choose. I'll use the original top one. 5 times -1 is -5 minus 4y equals 7.
Jeez.
That
You
was
write so
aggressive.
fast.
No, I do
year. Swap it out.
Almost division along is right on the board.
I've seen airbenders. I've never seen a smartphone bender.
Whoa.
This one's Mr. Jordan, the only snowboard, but can we make an avatar reference? Yes.
Yes, it's been
Well, in that case, it probably be reference.
Okay,
What?
AKA
21, 9x, 7y, 12, 9, 7, 12, 7, 3, 24. 9, 7, 12. I forgot.
What is
7, 3, 24.
What did he not?
Alright, what do you guys want to do?
Wait, I'm not done writing.
The home.
Okay, the y's are smaller than the x again, so let's get rid of the y's.
Times
21.
the negative.
21. Man.
Okay, we could do the top times negative 3 and the bottom times.
Positive
That would make, yeah, negative 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. 3 times 7 is positive 21. So that would fix it. So most of the time you're just multiplying them by the other number, right? That's basically what we've been doing. They, not necessarily always the case. Like if they were 4 and 6 go into 12. You wouldn't have to go all the way up to 24. Anyway, it's like the least common denominator kind of thing. Okay, top times negative 3. Negative 27 minus 21 minus 36. Bottom times 7 plus 21. Uh-oh, 140 plus 28, 168.
Oh boy. Wait a minute. Let me finish reading real quick.
Now what am I doing? I'm doing
Adding them together.
adding the lines together. So what is negative 27 plus 49? It's kind of like 49 minus
22.
27. 22. Those are gone. 168 minus 36 is 132. Now, if that doesn't go into it nicely, we probably did something wrong. So it's 132 divided by 22.
6, yeah.
6. Okay, I'm going to put 6 for. I'll use that one. 7 times 6 is 42. Plus 3y. 24. What was that? Negative 18?
Negative. No.
Negative 22.
Negative 18, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Divided by 3 is negative 6. I got negative 6.
Ironic. Running.
Hey, Leo, try. You want to zombies start?
Okay, one more. Let's start off with
We have to leave at 6. Why don't?
23, 5, 1, 17, 3, 1, 12. 5.
Michigan, history. Michigan.
1, 17, 3, 1, 12. Did I do that right?
No.
I can't see the board, so I don't know.
It's 5R plus 7 after
Oh yeah, 23.
I got my RNS switched around. Darn.
Ooh, this one looks kind of easy.
I'm gonna try it.
Oh,
It actually kind of is easy.
Almost. Just to throw you off.
Oh, dang it.
Alright.
I tried to call here so this doesn't answer, and then he has like an auto text there.
Oh,
What would be the easiest thing to do on this one? Okay, guys, let's go. What would be the easiest thing to do on this one?
Subtract the S's.
No, it's
Subtract the lines.
No, it's
Because if I subtract the bottom line, the S's would go away. S minus S is nothing. So I have to do 5R minus 3R. And 7 equals 17 minus 12.
5.
5. Uh-oh. What's R going to be?
5 over 2. 5 over 2.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Divide by 2.
How
Yeah.
is S plus S going to cancel?
Mine's better.
Okay. we're subtracting the bottom line this time instead.
Oh, okay, we're subtracting.
Now you could multiply the bottom line times -1, they'd all be negative, and you could add the lines together, that would work too, but probably just easier to subtract the bottom line. Okay, R is 5/2. It's a little bit of trouble there. So we do 5 times 5/2, which is 25/2, plus S equals 17. 25/2 is basically like 12.5, right?
It was.
So I'm going to change it to a mixed number. I'm going to subtract 12.5. Your calculator can do this. If you're not. So that'd be 4.5. If I change it back to an improper, that'd be like 9/2. I don't really care
Mr. Jordan,
how you write it. Yeah.
why don't you like get it?
Especially the part when you're in
Oh, because S.
Yeah. The S's are ready to go, so I just subtracted the bottom line.
If we went
Okay, try those evens.
Or you just could not,